If the tool and mold industry in Windsor was drawn up on a family tree, the father of that industry would certainly be Peter Hedgewick, and the homestead would be International Tools Limited. It has been estimated that 80% of current mold shops in Windsor trace their roots back to Peter Hedgewick and ITL. Peter Hedgewick was raised in Windsor, Ontario. Hedgewick began work on the production line at Chrysler Corporation, but sacrificed the 62 cents an hour position to apprentice at Standard Machine for only 15 cents an hour. In 1939, he joined the Armed Services, but was unable to go overseas because of a back injury. Hedgewick spent the war years working at 2 and 3 jobs simultaneously. In fact, he played the drums for many local orchestras in the evenings, while he worked at his tool-making apprenticeship during the day. It was during this time that he first came into contact with the plastic mold-making industry at Windsor Tool & Die Limited. Here, Hedgewick gathered the knowledge needed to work with plastic. Seeing the tremendous potential in this new field, Hedgewick broke away from Windsor Tool & Mould Limited in 1945 and sank his entire savings into a small company known as International Tool, Die and Stamping Company. And it was here that the idea of a Canadian plastic mold-making industry was nurtured and grew. Hedgewick recruited skilled workers from war-ravaged Europe, who then trained scores of skilled mold makers at ITL. In turn, many of these mold makers later left and went out to start up their own mold shops. ITL grew at such a fantastic rate that in 1957, it was necessary to move to a larger shop. The workforce had now increased from 64 to 130, and ITL was recognized as one of the top plants in the field of plastic tooling. The development of its own employees was beginning to show, as some were given executive jobs in the company, and others were being groomed for future jobs as the company expanded. Over the years, Peter Hedgewick developed and patented many safety items, such as the emergency triangle and roadway-embedded lane reflectors seen on our highways today. But the most far-reaching and significant was the child-safe palm and turn technology. Development of this life-saving technology came about when Dr. Henri Breault of Windsor began a comprehensive campaign to prevent accidental childhood poisonings. After a lengthy search in the industry, Dr. Breault enlisted Hedgewick to design and manufacture the child-resistant cap, and after several attempts, Hedgewick created the palm and turn technology in 1967. It was immediately adopted in the Windsor area, and the incidence of child poisonings quickly dropped by an astounding 91%. In 1974, the Ontario government made child-resistant containers mandatory. All of North America soon followed suit. Peter Hedgewick typifies Windsor's first generation of plastic mold makers, a tradesman with an independent spirit who taught himself to be a businessman. Hedgewick built his business through the determination to provide his customers with the highest in satisfaction. From a small operation in 1945, ITL grew to a company that in 1970 had sales of $21.5 million, over $3 million in net worth, and employing over 700 people.
There's no question he developed the largest mold-making operation within the Southwest. Peter Hedgewick was the man behind it that made it grow.
The backbone of the organization, top quality products at competitive prices with assured delivery.
It takes a pretty smart guy to be a tool maker, and Pete was as smart as they come. He was the pioneer, and he spawned many businesses off from that original concept.
To this day, at the age of 92, Peter Hedgewick still works on projects at Pinnacle Mold in Windsor and travels to various areas in the U.S. to troubleshoot the manufacture of his licensed projects. Peter Hedgewick, a legend in Canadian manufacturing.